Good morrow, Guardians. Jake Parker here, and it is time for us to dive deep, pun intended, into one of Bungie and Destiny's greatest mysteries that have yet to be discovered. Normally, you'd hear me much more energetic and vocalized in these videos, but with me breaking my arm and being on copious amounts of medication, I felt it's best now to simmer my tone and present this video with a much calmer, relaxed, and inviting demeanor. Now, unless you've been living outside the reaches of Seoul, it doesn't take much to see that the Destiny community in recent times has been, for a lack of a better terms, divided. With many Guardians providing praise for content they still enjoy, while others decidedly not so much. Between the drip-fed weekly seasonal content that many are criticizing for its repetitiveness, the PvP community begging for fresh new content to keep the endgame playlist fresh and exciting that's been largely ignored and rampant with cheaters with little to no reward for their time, the continuous contacting Destiny 2 server boss that is akin to fighting a losing battle against the architects, there are many justifiable reasons why the Destiny community at large has been vocal about their enjoyment and frustrations of what Destiny 2 has ultimately evolved into. It's no shock that the Destiny community at large is one of the most passionate, loyal, and decidedly vocalized communities in gaming. A short scroll through Twitter or YouTube would all but confirm this. And whether it's positive praise or constructive criticism, one of the worst things that you can be in the Destiny community is opinionated. Should you speak praise of the game or its contents, you're met with those who aim to challenge you based on their own lack of enjoyment. And should you critique anything new, old, or non-existent, you'll likely be met with those who question your continued playing of Destiny and brand it as a martyr. As the old saying goes, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But this is now. So instead of sulking over what is and what has remained, let us instead turn our sights towards the ultimate question. The one that lingers and stirs in the back of the minds of every Guardian. What comes next? This video aims to hopefully answer many of the possible pathways, at least 4 specifically, wherein Destiny may eventually arise. Keep in mind that this is purely speculative, and if there is any direction you believe Destiny may go that is not talked about in this video, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. And if you find this content enjoyable, please, of course, consider hitting that like button and subscribing. Your support, of course, is very much appreciated. Now, the reasoning for this video stems from the Twitter post by Destiny Nostalgia regarding a frankly important piece of forgotten information regarding the development of Destiny's future content. More specifically, this area underneath Final Shape that shows a title of Redacted and timeline that closely matches the Destiny DLCs mentioned above it. Clarify, this isn't a release roadmap, but a development roadmap showcasing the estimated time a piece of Destiny content would start development and supposedly end, with many different pieces in active development at the same time. It's also important to note that the content of this photo is focused solely on the Destiny franchise, so it's reasoning to believe that the recent announcements of Bungie's Marathon and Matter IPs are likely not referenced or even entertained here. We already know of the Final Shape releasing right after the closing events of Lightfall, and thus concluding that Destiny's 10-year saga. So the all-knowing question that remains now is, what began development shortly after or around the development time of Final Shape? Now, remember where I said one of the worst things you could be in the Destiny community is opinionated? Well, my response to Destiny Nostalgia's post sparked a very vast discussion regarding what many Guardians believe and hope to see following the closing of Destiny 2's story. Many shared similar feelings of optimism, while others not so much. But the open discussion revelated a few possible theories that, while all could be correct, we'd never know until the events following Final Shape actually take place. The first theory is the continuation of just Destiny 2 after the Final Shape concludes. This is an already confirmed theory, as it's already been stated on social media and in TWABs that Destiny will continue to live on after the Final Shape is over. But to what extent can we consider it to just be Destiny 2? If it's confirmed that Destiny 2 will continue, to what form will it present itself? Will it be simply a new DLC chain that follows the Final Shape and add new content? Will we continue to see returning content? A new development roadmap to continue the Destiny franchise, perhaps? As it's already been confirmed that content postdating the Content Vault will no longer be removed from Destiny 2, it begs the question now about game stability, file size, changes to how content will be released, whether seasonal content will continue to remain commonplace or replaced with something more exciting. There are so many unanswered questions here that although we do know that Destiny will continue to live on, will it be able to live on properly? The second theory is one that many Guardians have quarreled over, and that is the making of a Destiny 3. With as much content as we've had within Destiny 2, to the point that the Destiny Content Vault was created to allow Bungie to better develop Destiny entirely, it wouldn't be out of the question to say that a new Destiny game would excite the player base and ease the strain of Destiny 2. This would allow development of a new game that wouldn't inflate the file size of an already massive installment in the franchise, and would allow for a new shift of content that would complement Destiny in a new way while still holding into its own. Naturally, this theory would pose more questions than it answers, though. Would they continue to use their updated Tiger engine that's been the mainstay since Destiny 1? Would they use a new engine entirely? Where would this new game evolve the Destiny franchise into? What content would we see continue transferring over? I wouldn't doubt the reception of a Destiny 3 announcement would be positive, especially with the recent acquisition by PlayStation to further their industry relationships, and with Destiny being one of the largest acclaimed IPs in gaming today, it wouldn't be a bad investment. But this is still an unknown theory that is really still left to speculation rather than confirmation. Theory number 3 has been thrown around a lot more often, and that is the development of a Destiny 10-year anniversary pack. This is a relatively new theory that recently began springing up in conversation, and although it would be a welcome tribute to Destiny's lifespan, it would beg the question that it would take equally as long in development as a full DLC to create. Why would it be like that? Many have speculated what a 10-year anniversary pack for Destiny would look like, from mainstream PvE content to weapons to raids to PvP maps, God forbid that they actually do so. But again, this is all left to speculation rather than evidence-based confirmation. Don't get me wrong, a 10-year anniversary pack would be positively received by most and would be a wonderful tribute to some of Destiny's most riveting content imaginable. But is this theory a happenstance based on want or a desire based on need? Are players going to compare it to the 30th anniversary and thus skew their perception of what a 10-year anniversary pack would look like? We haven't even had confirmation that a 10-year anniversary pack was even in the works, let alone any kind of speculation at all, so be careful with this theory. And the last theory of this video is undoubtedly the most outlandish, the most crazy, but possibly the most requested one to date. And that is the theory of Destiny 1 and 2 merging together into one complete game to become just Destiny. A brand new approach to the Destiny universe in a way that pays homage to all of Destiny's content from day one to now. This was the theory I ultimately shared, and undoubtedly was the theory that caused the most amount of rift between discussions. Many Guardians love the idea of bringing the Destiny franchise together into one complete being for all Guardians new and returning to enjoy, while others took note of the near impossibility it could be with such things as file size, stability, and even reception alone in the conversation with recent things that have been happening in Destiny. And all opinions are absolutely welcomed, and of course they could be correct, though I did want to share a few small observations to give a little bit of credence to this theory. It's been noted quite often, and especially recently, that Destiny 1, yes, I meant to say Destiny 1, has been undergoing many background maintenances and even bringing the game offline for extensive amounts of time in recent years. It's also worth noting that with the accumulation of these downtimes, we've also begun seeing the return of Destiny 1 content in Destiny 2, from weapons to maps and beyond. But why bring so much downtime to a game that's functional, complete, and no longer in active development? Well, the spinfoil hat here is that bringing Destiny 1 offline allows the migration of content into Destiny 2, where it can then be polished and released as content for us in Destiny 2 to enjoy. This comes in the form of weapons, armor, even strikes and raids entirely that are then repurposed and provided again for new players. Could this not lend possible credence and the possibility that with all the recent releases of Destiny 1 content into Destiny 2, it's possible that Bungie has been perfecting the optimization of Destiny 1 content in preparation for merging the game together in the future? This could also explain the continuous updating of the Tiger engine to provide a more optimized experience, not just for gamers to enjoy playing, but for developers to continue creating. In closing, Guardians, if this Redacted is, of course, in still active development by Bungie, something big and exciting may very well be announced shortly after the release of the final shape, if not earlier or in between. And of course, remember, these are merely theories that can all be considered appropriately valid and possible, but without more official confirmation from Bungie directly, a grain of salt must absolutely be taken. It's worth remembering that we are all guardians of passion and promise, waiting for the next piece of Destiny content to drift us away in excitement and wonder. And for my last statement in this video, please be kind to each other and especially the developers. If there's ever a rule to follow, it's that if you have nothing nice to say, please don't say anything at all. One of the things we can continue to do better is show that we are guardians of absolute positivity and constructive feedback. If there's a theory you loved hearing about, or maybe there's one that you thought of on your own, I would love to know in the comments below as we inch closer to the final moments of our time in Destiny. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, of course, consider hitting the like button and subscribing. Again, your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you for being the reason I get to do what I do, and until the next video, Guardians, game on.